welcome to the Rising Stars of Comedy. I'm Akriti Tyagi. Bill Cosby once said, in order to succeed, your desire for success has to be far greater than your fear of failure. Our guest for today is one of the most loved comedians in the circuit. Always with a ready smile, his work speaks for himself. A former RJ, an actor, an anchor, a scriptwriter, a musician. One of my personal favorites. Please welcome the multifaceted Abish Mathew.
What's up, Mr. Abish Mathew?
Good evening, my name is Abish Mathew. Man, my name is Abish. It's such a weird name, right? Because Suraj, every Indian name means something. Puja means to pray. Suraj is the sun, right? My name is Abish. I don't know what the heck it means, man. So in the desperate attempt to find out what Abish means, I went to Google and I wrote A-B-I-S-H, enter. But the all-knowing Google apparently knew more than me, started asking me a question. Do you mean a bitch? My name is Abish. It's a very weird name. I'll tell you how my name came about. See, I have an elder brother. His name is Anish. The second brother, his name is Binish. My dad took the A and the B, he put it together, made it into Abish. It's so sweet. It's nice of him. Except I'm glad that my dad did not continue with the same alphabetical order of naming kids. Because then he would have had like, what, 6 kids? A for Anish, B for Binish, C for Sinish, Dinish, Inish, finish.
So Abish, tell us something about the journey in the comedy sphere so far.
Oh, awesome. Comedy in general, as far as I'm concerned, I started in Delhi.
Okay.
Right, and then I shifted to Bombay 3 years ago. But comedy for me started in Delhi.
Okay.
This is around 2008. I think I just joined the radio industry and I really wanted to do live stand-up because at that time I got internet and I was like, what is Robin Williams doing? He's talking and people are laughing. I want to do what he's doing. Okay. So at that time, because it was radio was kind of like a similar format where I was supposed to be funny. Like my family considers me irritating, which turned into funny is what people started telling me. I'm like, hey, if irritating is funny, might as well charge money and make money out of it. So it started in 2008. At that time, there was no open mic scene as such. So did like a few shows here and there where I was emceeing but tried to infuse a little bit of comedy. Died a horrible death, like no laugh whatsoever. Then there was a point in time where I think Papa CJ had come back from London at that time. Then he started kickstarting the open mic scene. So the scene started growing from there. Then individual comics such as Rajneesh and Raghav Mandava, they started doing their open mics. Then Neeti Palta, then Amit Tandon, and then all these guys started generating different venues where they wanted different comedy shows to happen. And then because every week you used to have 5 shows, different guys organizing, so many times you went on stage, and every time you go on stage, you become better. Or you become worse. But the idea is that every time you go on stage, you end up coming up more confident with more content.
We live in a country where women are in power because women are awesome. Because women have this one thing that men don't have. This ability to multitask. Men have no idea about it. Women can multitask in office. They'll be like Facebook, boss comes, alt tab. Hello, sir. And this is even more evident when women are driving, right? Because when a man's driving, he's obsessed with how loud the music is inside the car and how hot the girl is outside the car. Simple. When a woman's driving, they're so awesome at multitasking. This is what literally goes on. Huh, baby, hold on, a BBM is coming. She'll be skipping, ironing, feeding the clothes all at the same time, and suddenly the car goes, दिमाग का है तुम्हारा है?
In every comedian's journey, there is that one defining moment where you're like, no, I have to be a comedian and nothing else. Did you have that defining moment?
It wasn't that one moment that made me want to do comedy. I think it was just like a series of things that I wanted to do. So now, because my entire family made sure that I did right from acting to music to dancing. My brother's an excellent dancer, by the way. So is my mom, or she claims. No, mom, I know you're a great dancer.
He doesn't want to come home, auntie.
So the point is that there was a point in time when I was doing different things. And organically what happened is when I was in school, I used to host a lot of events.
Okay.
And they started giving me some funny events to host, lighter events to host. So that came as a point where I was like, hey, people do laugh when I'm talking. So I used to be part of a school parliament, okay? Now, school parliament, very serious. You take issues of the school, raise issues about it, and you talk about it. I don't know what used to happen every time there was an issue, and I had a lot of, at that time I was like, no, this cannot happen. There was a change in uniform in my school, and I was like, I'm not happy with the change in uniform. This is a legacy. I don't want to change it. So I stood up and I spoke against it, and I had an entire written script, and apparently it was funny.
Oh, really?
Apparently it was funny.
Okay.
Then that ended up like, hey, people are laughing. I like this. I don't know what this is, but this is funny.
Okay.
Then when the internet came in, I was like, oh, this is called stand-up comedy. I want to do this. So there was no defining moment, but like a series of things that I was doing at that point in time, which made me feel very comfortable when I'm performing on stage.
Okay.
So now when I do music, when people are listening to my songs and they're going, oh, great, what a great voice, I can't thank myself. I mean, that's a gift that God has bestowed, and then practicing or training has gotten me to a place where I sound decent. I got no control over it. Humor, on the other hand, for me, it's not just God gifted. You could be a funny human being, but you might not be a comedian.
Sure.
You could be a hardworking comedian. I mean, you could be a hardworking person towards humor, and then you can become a comedian.
Sure.
So generally, was a funny guy, but then a little bit of hard work on top of that makes you a comedian.
Okay.
So for me, as I said, right, I could do music, I could act, I could sing. Not well, I could just do it. The point is, but somehow comedy is the one that gave me the most amount of joy, because if someone laughs at what you're saying, whether it's on stage or off stage, there's some kind of like a high that you get, which is, I can't explain it. It just is great. When you get an applause, ki, wow, he made me laugh. You can have a bad day, you come and watch a show, you feel better about yourself, or worse about yourself after listening to what I had to say. But the point is, it leaves an impression, you laugh and you leave. For me, that holds way more value than applauding at the end of my song, saying that great voice. So, thanks, I had nothing to do with it, but thank you very much. Now, here's the thing, as a musician, I kind of observe that different kinds of musician and different kinds of songs, there are different ways to sing it. Like, you know, the popular opera, have you heard any opera song before? It's very, very simple to sing an opera song, right? What you got to do is literally breathe in, try it with me, breathe in, breathe out with your mouth. Now at the same time, yawn, okay? Now sing anything with this, like. So simple, so nice. Now, example, if you're more fans of Britney Spears or Justin Timberlake, there is a way to sing a Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears song. What you got to do is take your little finger, moisten it a little, okay? Find a plug point. Yeah. I'm a slave from you, yeah, yeah, baby, 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 baby. It's every Britney Spears song ever. She could be singing A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, E, F, G,
What do you think about the comedy scene in India?
Comedy scene in India, I'm viewing it from two perspectives.
Yeah.
One perspective is a comedian from India who's been in India and watching the scene. And the other perspective is I go abroad a lot to do comedy or to watch comedy.
Okay.
So every year, at least once a year, I will go to a different country to watch a lot of comics to see how the scene there is and their perspective about India.
Okay.
So the comedy scene in India is growing exponentially.
Okay.
But that I mean that you see international acts wanting to come and perform in India because by that I mean that the international comics want to come to India and really want to see if that works or not, right?
Okay.
Because you got a huge bank of people who want to watch comedy, new to comedy, and on top of that, most importantly, someone who can get their sense of humor.
Okay.
So when you look at the comedy scene, you look at it as a public who's ready to watch, so international comics want to come. But when they look at the public, they're also like, hey, there's an indigenous comedy scene. Let's go explore them. And you have some great talents in the country. So example, the Utrecht Comedy Festival had called a few of us over to come and perform for them because they recognize that there's talent here.
Of course.
Then there was the Brooklyn Comedy Festival, which I don't, again, they got in touch. I don't know how many people went.
Okay.
But there are different festivals getting in touch with Indian comics, getting in touch with the Indian entire scene altogether. So it is growing right now.
Okay.
But I think the only thing missing, and this is what I'm saying, the only thing missing in the entire industry, at least in Bombay, is that there is a requirement, a prerequisite to have an open mic scene. An open mic is where new comics come and try material, try to become better, get more stage time, and the more I don't know, polished comedians come and try their new material. You know, so unless you keep doing that, the industry will taper off. That means that the big guys who become big, they will become plateau it out, because where will they try their new content? And it kind of, that's my opinion.
Of course.
But internationally also, the open mics is quintessential for the backbone of a comedy industry. So
Sure.
every opportunity given, I go to an open mic. If I'm watching open micers, to doing a 5-minute set, to getting other senior comics come on board, come, let's just do 5 minutes, because that inspires these open micers to do more.
Definitely.
Because once you hit from open mics to club level to auditorium to concerts, you need more comics to come in and fill in that gap. Because if I start doing auditoriums, I'm not going to do club circuits because they won't be able to afford me. So we need more club circuit comedians who would also step up. So anytime there's a gap, you end up falling. It's just a logical step of filling up. So every given opportunity, I make sure if there's a guy with a good enough potential, give them free advice, because we're Indians, that's the best thing we can do, give free advice. And make sure that they work on the projects that I work on, so that they jump up from open mic to a club level, then from there to an auditorium, and so on and so forth. I mean, that's something I like to do. But that's the only complaint I have with the Indian comedy scene, that the open mic scene is not as thriving as it should be.
Okay.
So,
Man, my family is so good, right? Because we travel all the time together. And one of the greatest family trips we've ever had is to Calcutta. Has anyone been to Calcutta before? You know, the best thing we did in Calcutta is that we saw Terminator in Bengali. That shit was off the hook, man, because I saw Arnold Schwarzenegger go bhalo, 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 bhalo. Tadam, tam, tadam, tadam, tam, tadam. Ami abar ashbo. And the best of it all, Ostola bhishta dada. That's what I saw. We live in such a great country where every language, it sounds like a musical instrument to me. Like example, Malayalam. Malayalam sounds like this instrument called the tabla. Have you heard it? It's great, right? It's like tande talakitinya atikittu tum patti tendinari tukununtish. Ah, great, lovely. Gujarati sounds like an instrument in the background, right? Those useless musicians with the shaker. Kimchi, macha macha, kimchi, macha macha, kimchi.